This is E. Matthews Jet, and today I'm going to show you a new project that I started. I'm making a front engine dragster. It's going to be, I believe, third scale. So the length of the car is going to be 65 to 66 inches in length with the front end, because the whole front end is going to be here. Okay, this is the blueprint that I drew on a piece of wood that I bought at Lowe's. So look at it. It's completely drawn as a dragster, measured properly. And this is exactly where the front wheel is going to sit. It's measured exactly down through that line. And the rear tire is also measured down through the line. So I'm using soft mouth steel, half-inch tubing to create the chassis. And these are inserts made out of the same parts that I cut it. I spliced them and I closed them up and I made them fit in here perfectly round. I banged them out and I used a mandrel. This is a miniature jeweler's mandrel and I used this to make it happen. So it's going to be a front engine dragster like in the 60s and in the 50s, they started making front-engine dragsters before Don Gollick made his first rear-engine dragster. I actually was going to make a rear-engine dragster, but the rear-engine dragster is going to be real long, and I live in a small apartment, so I can't have a long rear-engine dragster. So I'm going to make it a front-engine dragster. Okay, and the engine I'm using, this is an 80cc bicycle engine. Bicycle engines, if you put in, they got several types of engines. They got ones that are bone stock, and then they got modified engines that the bike is going to fly. This is a modified engine. I'm using a basic carburetor. That's not the carb for there. I just put it on for the video, but I got a high performance carb. It's in the box. It's all put away. So that's the motor that's going to make my dragster run. And this is the sprocket. Okay, I made an inside hub in steel. I already turned it on my lathe. It's already made. I just got to insert it and spot weld it. So I made holes over here. Over here I'm going to hit it with the welder. I'm going to spot weld it here and here, and then later on I'll weld it around. Like that, it's all solid. I just didn't want to weld it without this insert, even though it'll work because once you weld it stays, but I wanted to make sure that it stays solid. So that's what I'm doing. So anybody that's been like to drag tracks, they know what a front engine dragster looks like. So this is going to be my front engine dragster. I'm going to make it as authentic as possible as I could make it until it's done. This is a project I wanted to do for a long time. I've been running RC cars for years. I got airplanes and I have drag cars. You see, I run RC cars. That's a rear engine dragster right there. I got plaques. I've won awards. I got awards that I won for building stuff. Okay, so yeah, I fly model airplanes. I ride Harleys. I own a couple of Harleys. I'm a hobbyist. That's my life. I go to work, come home, take care of the family, and my free time I build shit. So I made some parts on my lathe. I have a lathe. So it's lathe and milling. So I've been making parts for this dragster. And the rear axle is going to be a 5/8 thickness solid rod in steel. And it's going to use a hydraulic bicycle disc brake to slow it down. So the back tire is going to be here, and that's the front over there. And this sprocket here, it runs free. So when you take the throttle off the engine, you're not giving it throttle, it's going to free run, and I can use the disc brake to slow it down and stop it. So the engine's been worked on. This engine is ready to be dropped in and run. I gotta make the header. I'm gonna make it come out and up like a dragster header. I'm gonna make the engine mounts all by hand. Everything's gotta be made. So it's gonna be a real nice dragster. Right now you're looking at it on a board. Okay, another thing, for me to make this dragster, I needed a board that can be flat and even. So that's why I bought these aluminum angle bars, and I measured it and bolted in to make sure that the board stays nice and even, because if the board is warped, your dragster is going to be all warped. So it's got to be made. If you go to a shop where they're making real dragsters and pro stocks, they have a bench where they set up jigs to build the car. So right now I got this chassis sitting on these stands, but I'm going to bolt it down to this board. It's going to have professional jigs where everything's precisely measured and locked down to add all more tubing and parts to it until the whole frame is done. So this is an awesome car. When it's done, it's going to be a real nice front engine dragster. So I like to build stuff. I'm always building something. As soon as the sun goes down, I start drilling and building and banging and driving my girl crazy all night. So look at the chassis. So the chassis, the tubular chassis is going to be accurate to the drawing. Exactly how I drew it is going to be the same. Let me remove this. See? Everything's measured. So I can draw blueprints, I can draw anything. This is going to be the rear tire. And I'm going to dismantle this, and I'm going to send this side of the rim to be chromed, because I want that rim chromed. Right now it's white, it's all loose, and these bearings I gotta knock those out, because I made solid sockets. I don't know what to call it. That they're gonna be in there. They're gonna be all bolted in where the axle's gonna lock. I'm gonna make the axle lock to this tire. I gotta knock this bearing out also, and this side is also gonna be chromed. Here's the back part of the dragster. See it? Let me move this tape a little bit further. So it's going to be exactly how you see it. So it's going to be a 1960s style dragster. Back in the 60s, they started calling them rails. They weren't called dragsters. Actually, they first started calling them slingshots. And then from slingshots, they went to rails. And then from rails, they went to dragsters. So you see the turn, all of this is going to be on the dragster. It's going to be identical. So this is where the back wheel is. This is going to be the engine bay right there. It's all measured for the engine to drop right in with the mounts. The engine's going to come a little bit further, so I'm going to put like another tube right here. You see I got it marked. And this is my bender. This is what I use to bend it. This is a Harbor Freight bender. Here, this is a bar that I was practicing with. Here, I was practicing with this bar. That's my first bend. Ruined it. This is my second bend. Okay, it's pretty hard to bend hollow tubing on this bender, but I figured out a way to get it done. So these are my bends here. This is actually going to be for the back roll cage. That's going to be the back where the helmet rests on. I already got it all made. I just got to cut it out. I'm also going to make a custom wheelie wheel. I'm going to make a complete scale dragster miniaturized. And here's my welding machine. I own 2 welding machines there. This is my welders. I got another welding machine down there. That's another one. So that's it. Tomorrow's supposed to rain. I don't know at what time it's going to rain. I'm looking forward to start welding soon. I don't want to do it during the week. I need like a Saturday or a Sunday that I'm off from work, and I can start welding up. During the week, I come home late. I'm not going to come home and bring all this crap outside. And where that plane is at, the bottom of that plane, that's a welding table. If we take that piece of wood off and everything, that's actually a welding table right there. So I got to bring that welding table down. I got to take all that crap off of the plane. Take the welding table downstairs, bring down the welder, bring down all this crap, and start welding. So I got all the pieces pre-cut, measured, and bent already. Everything's set over there in the corner. I got a corner over there with all the tubings all laying. I just need time to set it all up and go downstairs and spend the day welding. So I'm going to keep you informed. I'm going to do more videos. You're going to see updates to see where the car is at, and my goal is to get it running. And it's going to have the aluminum panels like the real dragsters with the engine cover over here. Not the engine cover, the steering cover. It's going to be here. All of that's going to be completely scaled to a real dragster. And then where the front wheel is, these old dragsters, they got a wing over here. I'm going to make the wing also. The wing's going to be all handmade in aluminum. It's going to be awesome, man. When this car is done, this is going to be an awesome RC dragster. Okay, I got a lot of friends that run RC cars, and I've been running RC cars since the early 80s, but none of my friends has ever built anything like this. I think I'm the only person that's going to do it, and that's it. I got a quarter scale drag car all the way over there. It's another car that I built. It's a P-47 Thunderbolt, an F-15 Eagle jet. It uses a small turbine to make that thing fly. So my apartment is a shop. That's polishing machine with vacuum, grinders, drill press, bandsaw. I'm always building. I also like telescopes. That's my PC-21 Polaris with a 20cc LED gas engine. My Shockwave 55 gas, it runs on gas. These are quarter scale planes. They're big airplanes. So I hope you like my video. This is E. Matthews Jet. I've been in the hobby for a long time. I'm always building stuff. I like buying kits, RC kits. They're great, but you need to build your own shit. If you're not building your own shit, as much as you're in the hobby, I say you're not in the hobby. Okay, and it's sad for me to say that because I got kits that I built all over the place. And every kit that I built, I machine certain aluminum parts that you can't get. I think of them, I say I can make that, so I got the parts made for all my cars, trucks, model airplanes, whatever part I need to make for whatever, I make it, It's my tool chest. that's packed with tools. So this is my front engine dragster. I'm glad everybody's gonna see it. You know, tell your friends that E. Matthews Jet's making a new front engine dragster, scale tubular chassis, and that's it. Okay, if the camera's a little bit shaky, I'm sorry. I'm just so happy to put this video on YouTube. Let me put the tire back where it was, more or less right there. That's where it's gonna go. See now, look at the dragster. Picture it, all built. No, it's gonna be badass. This is awesome. Okay, this is E. Matthews Jet signing out on the next video. Keep an eye out for the next video that comes up. You're gonna see some more work. I don't want to film me welding because when I'm welding and doing stuff, I actually don't put myself on video. I like to just sit down and grind and drill and weld and get it done, and then I'll throw it on video. This is what I did. So I could have done all the bending and everything on video. I didn't want to do that. I'm a person, I got to come home and sit down and do what I got to do, and I can't be chasing a camera while I'm doing stuff. Okay, there's E. Matthew Jet signing out. Thank you. Have a good night. Actually, have a nice weekend. Today's Saturday night. Actually, it's Sunday because it's over 1 o'clock in the morning.